Hi guys, my name is Karthik and I am from executeautomation.com and welcome to part 9 of our API testing with REST Assured and Cucumber course. And this video I'll be talking about working with delete in REST Assured and Cucumber. And once again, this is a complete continuation of our previous video, part 8. So please go ahead and watch that video before watching this video, because this video is gonna be covering entirely what we have discussed in our previous video. Alright, so let's get started. So for that, I'm gonna flip to IntelliJ IDE. Alright, so this is the same project that we were discussing in our previous video, and as you can see in our last video, we stopped writing the scenarios step definition implementation, and we need to implement all the step definition in this video. So as you can see, it's going to be I ensure perform post operation for the post with a body. So I will be creating all the step definitions probably within the post profile, because as you can see, this is post and this is the get, and this is once again for the get operation. So I'm going to be creating the step definitions over here, and then later once the implementation is done, we'll be creating a separate step file for the delete, and then we'll put that particular step definition over there. So don't worry about it yet. Let's start to implement the step definitions, and then let's try to do the refactor in our upcoming videos. So it's not very urgent right now, but the implementation is very, very important. All right. So first thing, for performing the post operation for this particular body, we really require the URL, and then we are going to work with the data table because it actually has a data table. And then we actually need to have what is called as a data of table.raw, because this is the Cucumber table. So we need to be working on that. And for the body, we are going to be creating a map. Once again, this is the string of string with a body is equal to new of the hash map. So I'll be doing that, and then I'm going to be putting all the different values that I require for the body. So as you remember in our previous video, we saw the body requires the ID, title, and author. So it's something that we already discussed in our previous video, the same thing. So I can just copy this and I can paste it over here. So for the body, I can directly put something like body in here, and for the ID, instead of the hard-coded value, we're going to be retrieving the value from the table, right? Which is nothing but the way that we saw in our previous videos, where you can get the value something like this from the Cucumber data table. Once again, in order to read or understand how the Cucumber actually works, we already have an advanced series course as well as the basic series course in Udemy as well as in YouTube. So please go ahead and watch there. And as that said, we are going to be working with the title. So it's going to be the same thing. We are going to be doing the get of one. And finally, for the author, I'll be doing get of one dot get of two, right? Very, very simple and straightforward. And finally, we are going to perform the post operation. So for doing that, I'll be calling the REST Assured extension dot. We wrote a method called post ops with body in our previous video, where we need to pass the URL and the body. So this is how you can actually perform a post operation within this particular step definition implementation. Very, very simple and straightforward. So as you can see, one step definition has been implemented, and the rest of step definition implementations are going to be pretty same and straightforward as well. So instead of wasting so much of time in writing the same code again and again, which I have already implemented, I'm going to be just copy pasting the code, which makes my life much easier. And as you can see, it's going to be pretty much the same thing, because as you can see, for the delete operation, I'll be calling the same path parameter which we discussed in our previous videos of this course. Just that here we are going to call the delete ops with path parameter method instead of the post with path parameter that we discussed in our previous videos. Similarly, as you can see, for I should not see the body with a title, it's exactly the same assertion that we discussed in our previous videos, where you'll be getting the body of JSON path that get of title that we're passing in, and then I'm verifying that if it's not the title, because we should be verifying that the title doesn't exist after the delete operation. And finally, I perform the get operation with the path parameter is something that we really require as well, because as you can see, this is where we will be doing the get operation to get the response, and then we'll be storing that to verify that, right? So this is where the storation of the response is actually happening, and this is where the assertion is actually happening, right? So all the implementations are pretty straightforward and simple things. It's not a very big deal at all, because these things are the same concept and ideas that we discussed in our previous videos. As that said, I'm not really going to be executing this code, rather I'll be debugging this code, and I will show you how the actual implementation is going to be working. So for doing that, I'm actually going to be showing you the actual database server. So let me open that. So this is our JSON server, as you can see in here, and let's try to do one by one in here so that you can have a clear idea. So the first thing, I'm going to be debugging this code. So let me go to the delete operation here and debug this particular scenario. And here is our server. All right. So the first thing is I ensure to perform post operation for the body as this. So let's do an F8, 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 F8. And as you can see, the server is nothing in here. Once I do that, it's going to have the operation there. There you go. As you can see, the post operation has happened. So let me open the Postman so that you can see what has really happened. So I expect it should create something new for us. So let's do a get, and we passed post as 6, right? So let me send it, and you can see that it has created a new post for us in here. So this is the same data that we have passed in here, right? So that data is actually coming, as I can see, in the Postman, which means the post operation is actually working fine. And then we'll be calling the delete operation to delete the post of 6, right? So for that, let me go over here and we'll see if the delete operation is actually happening. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here. I'm going to be executing it. There you go. It should have deleted now pretty fast. So I will see once again by calling a get here. Before that, let's see the server. You can see the delete operation has happened and it is successful as well. So if I send it, you can see that particular post has completely gone or wiped out from our server. So the delete operation is also succeeded. And finally, we're going to perform this particular operation to see if it gets any response. So I'm going to be debugging that, and let's see what's going to be happening. So I'll remove the breakpoint here. Let's debug it, and you can see that it performed a get operation for us, and it is like 404, which means there is nothing in there, and the response is going to be empty as well, right? Which you can also see again. You can do an evaluate expression, and you can perform a get body dot JSON path, or maybe let's see the get body dot print. As you know, the print method is very handy for debugging, and you can see the result is kind of empty, which means this particular operation is also going to be succeeded as well. So if I just leave all of them completely, removing the breakpoints, and if I just continue the debugging, you can see that the test has got passed, which is pretty cool, which means our test is actually working fine with this particular feature. And you can see that now we have evolved so much that we could able to write a cucumber scenario, and we could able to perform 3 different operations in one scenario without any problem. So this is how we can keep on leveraging the power of Cucumber, Rest Assured, as well as the power of Java by keep on extending the Rest Assured API with a non-BDD styled fashion by implementing all the different step definitions and different methods within one library. So this is the power that I was talking about during the initial starting of our course, that instead of writing BDD styled fashion in a traditional automation code, something like this for the Rest Assured, if we write all of them as a non-traditional way, and if we keep on extending the libraries, it's going to be very, very easy and even very handy while writing the code in this particular fashion, so that the step definition implementation is going to be much easier and even much simplified than before. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. In our next video, we'll start to talk about put and patch operation, and with that, all the different operations that you can perform on a Rest Assured API is already completed. Following that, we'll be talking about authentication APIs, and we'll then refactor our complete code as a framework, and then we'll understand how we can leverage the power of extended reporting and other sort of reporting within the Cucumber to see a nice way of dealing with these kinds of operation. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video and have a great day.